13% combined travel increase across our international bridges. We connected more than 4.3 million vehicles and more than 1.2 million pedestrians came to McAllen's retail and hospitality businesses and to our award-winning destination events. McAllen International positions us as an international city where commerce, trade, and tourism thrive. And right now, construction continues on the $83 million Ansalduas Bridge expansion project, funded in part by a $25 million grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation. You know, I remember Juan and I were driving to Monterrey when I received a call on my mobile. The person identified himself, but honestly, I thought it was a joke. Guess who it was? It was just the U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg to tell me that we have received this $25 million historic grant. What a call, what a moment, what a grant. Secretary Buttigieg, thank you for helping McAllen shine. And this grant for Rebuilding America fosters nationally significant projects that move freight and people, which McAllen does like very few other cities. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome our Commissioner from District 4, Rudy Castillo, to talk about our city's power to connect people.
The spirit of McAllen is shining through. Here today at the McAllen International Airport, we're excited to begin welcoming new passengers to and from Mexico City and beyond. It brings our community closer to our culture and inspires new ideas.
Thanks to our airport's new partnership with Aeromexico, McAllen is where South Texas will connect with new opportunities to explore, relax, and prosper in Mexico City starting this month. McAllen was proud to host Aeromexico, Mexico's largest carrier, for an official site visit with meet and greets, networking events, and an official press event with regional media partners and city officials. Our airport also helped travelers stay culturally connected in 2023 with the 5th annual Dia de Muertos Ofrenda and Hispanic Heritage Month, our exhibits. These events launched in partnership with our consuls de Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. With new non-stop flights to Austin starting soon, the City of McAllen is committed to delivering new opportunities to McAllen travelers, connecting South Texas with the biggest city on the continent.
The spirit of McAllen says, if we can, we will.
Thank you, my good friend Rudy, Commissioner Castillo. And McAllen's spirit of caring kept our city safe in 23. As stated before, McAllen was recognized as America's 3rd safest city. Reported the lowest violent and property crime rates among the 4 larger border cities in Texas, and was featured as one of the state's 11 safest places to live. McAllen recorded its lowest crime rate in 37 years by the start of 23, with a sharp 77.8 decrease since 1995. McAllen cares about balancing public safety with growth. We invested in a new $5.5 million fire training facility to begin service soon. This state-of-the-art 10,000 square foot complex will be a McAllen first, a dedicated training facility to train our firefighters and lead South Texas as a key training site and safety partner. McAllen invested in public safety has helped our city's quality of life increase 7% above the national average and 12% above comparable U.S. cities. In McAllen, we are always ready to help our neighbors on both sides of the border, because in McAllen, if we can, we will. And here's Commissioner Haddad with a message about how McAllen is keeping our community safe.
The spirit of McAllen shines when we work together to keep our city safe. We are at McAllen's Fire Station number 6 with our newest fire aerial ladder truck. This highly specialized piece of rescue equipment is just another shining example of McAllen reinvesting in our safety. Soon, McAllen's firefighters will begin training in a cutting-edge 10,000 square foot training facility, the first of its kind in South Texas. The spirit of McAllen inspires leadership from others through a new memorandum of understanding to enhance training between the City of McAllen Fire Department and the Heroico Cuerpo de Bomberos, Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico. Of working side by side in emergencies. From confined space rescues to maquiladora fires, and most urgently during the 1967 Pemex explosion. Recently, the McAllen Fire Department proudly donated a surplus pumper fire truck to firefighters from Dr. Gonzalez, Nuevo León, Mexico, a suburb of Monterrey. McAllen and Reynosa are interdependent communities, and we are committed to strengthening the relationship between fire departments for a safer McAllen and a safer Reynosa. We invested $5.5 million into our firefighters training facility because their lives, like the lives of McAllen's people, deserve the best protection that we can provide. Putting serious resources behind the people who keep us safe, the spirit of McAllen says, if we can, we will.
And the spirit of McAllen is to help our residents help themselves.
Coming up next on MCN, the McAllen Cable Network, the Development Corporation of McAllen from McAllen City Hall. The Development Corporation appointed by the City Commission is charged with making recommendations on how to use money that's been raised from the half-cent sales tax that was approved by McAllen voters on May the 3rd, 1997. The recommendation is made to the City Commission. They make the final decision. And now, the Development Corporation of McAllen.
Good morning, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. We will begin with a swearing-in
Of the newly elected director.
Excellent. All right.
Top of it, man.
On to number one, approval of the minutes for the special meeting held Thursday, January 4th.
So moved.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number two, consideration and approval of the budget amendment and nearshoring.
Good morning, Mr. President and members of the board. We've got a budget amendment that we would like to move forward with. These are 4 projects that have been in discussion and really in planning for many months. We've had a lot of discussion with the City Commission, and they're projects that not only we recommend, but that they support. And so I'm going to present the first one, and Michelle will do the following 3. Jason Leal, congratulations and welcome aboard. You're at a little disadvantage in that you haven't heard of these, so we'll do our best to explain what they are, and we'll be glad to meet with you if you have additional questions.
Thank you.
So the first project we call nearshoring. You all have seen it. It's been in the press for some time. It is a development that's happening on Ware Road and Idela. The developer is Mr. Joaquin Spammer, and it is an industrial park that he is about to develop of over 100 acres. Mr. Spammer purchased that land from the City of McAllen for approximately $6 million, which has already been earmarked for another project. And at this point hadn't received any kind of incentive. So what I want to first point out on this $569,000, number one, this is half of what we are recommending for approval for the project. However, because it's a development project, it's going to take some time to do. So we're going to split it and provide half of the funding this fiscal year and propose half of the funding next fiscal year. What this is for specifically is for infrastructure. It is the roadways inside the entire development. Mr. Spammer and his engineers were proposing to have a typical section of roadway made up of asphalt, which is fine. It works for the load of what we expect there, which are 18-wheelers, tractor trailers, to the tune of anywhere from 80 to 100,000 pounds. We, the city of McAllen, prefer a concrete section for a lot of reasons. The obvious reasons that it has a much longer life than asphalt, and therefore needs less maintenance, and we'll have to worry about replacing it for a much longer time. So the difference between concrete and asphalt is about $1.1 million. And so since it is not required that he use concrete and we prefer it, he requested that we pay that difference, and we recommended that we do. So the city commission agreed. We're here to propose to the Development Corporation that we fund it, and again, it would be, half of the project would be $569,000. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions on that?
Any questions on that one? Okay. So the second one is Ware Retail. This is located on South Ware Road at Uvalde, between Benson and Ware. So Hugo Martinez is preparing to develop a 22.5-acre tract of land that will have about 48,000 square feet of two-story retail in phase one. It'll have a fitness center with paddleball courts and with a monthly annual subscription for membership in phase two. And phase three is going to consist of three-story buildings, which have another 44,500 square feet of retail on the ground floor, apartments on the second and third floor, and adjacent 19 townhomes. So the phase one capital investment is $10.56 million. It'll take about 10 to 12 months to construct. Phase two is another $10 million in the following 6 to 8 months. And phase three is $29.5 million with another 18 months. All told, it's about a $50 million investment over the course of 3 years. In addition, there's some additional right-of-way that exists where the old Ware Road alignment was, and we appraised that at $380,000 for 1.58 acres of land, and they propose to landscape that at the tune of about $750,000. They're going to do something similar to the landscaping that's seen at the Domain Development in Austin. And so once they do that, we're proposing that we donate the right-of-way to them after they have shown us that they have put in the landscaping at that to that level. And they're asking for help to develop the portion of Uvalde Road between Ware and Benson. The total of that will cost them about $790,000, so we're proposing to give them $700,000 up front, and the remaining $900,000 that the commission agreed to, a $1.6 million investment over 5 years, dependent upon the sales tax that comes back in. So they'll have to guarantee that they will make back up that sales tax coming in over that 5-year period. And again, as Roy mentioned, this is a phased development, and since it's going to take a couple of years, we're proposing half of that for this year and then half in the following fiscal year. $700,000 upfront investment.
Who's the developer?
Hugo Martinez. He has some retail development in FAR right now.
Do you have the schematic with you?
I do.
Why don't we have them?
I can.
I'm sorry, did you have a question?
No, sir.
The discussion was amongst the city commission is that, you know, it's right on Ware Road and close to the expressway, but to the south, which would improve the development, the future development of Ware Road and South McAllen. That'll get us to, this development will get us closer to the golf course, the event centers that we have there, the Palmview Community Center, the future Soho, the future nearshoring. So it'll really going to develop all that area. And besides, this will bring in retail dollars and ad valorem taxes. So we feel that an investment into that area is...
I'm trying to picture where this is going to be.
See if I've got a vicinity map.
It's in between Brown Middle School and the expressway, north of Brown.
Here's Ware Road and this is
Yeah, it's a nice big track, and again, it's some money up front, but the rest of the money is based on the development and the sales tax dollars and ad valorem taxes.
And it's gonna include some residential, you said?
Yes. Yes, it'll be some mixed use, it'll be really
It's mixed
nice.
use.
Questions on that one? Okay, then the next one is DK3 investment. That is actually a barbecue, Brena's Barbecue, that is going in currently at 10th and North Wisconsin. Again, it was for off-site infrastructure or infrastructure improvements for the lot. And that one's pretty straightforward. That one's $80,000, and that's to be paid when they start the project. So we need budget amendment for that. Any
And
questions?
that money was specifically for some infrastructure. You want to describe that?
Yes.
Gas line that we're bringing in for that development and fill. Everything else is on them.
Yeah, and they'll be able to tie in, other development will be able to tie in to it, so.
Okay, and then the last one is for Sustaita Development. This is a project that is coming in on between Old 10th and 10th Street, where the Ware Road or Adela Road alignment would be. And however, that was not on the right-of-way map or the required right-of-way map, so they are not required to dedicate Adela through the thoroughfare plan. Knowing, however, that we want to provide an east-west corridor somewhere south of the expressway before you get to Military, we thought that it would be important to try to preserve that right-of-way to get all the way from 10th Street all the way to Ware someday. And the developer has agreed to place the right-of-way at the northern edge of their development instead of having an interior street, and I have the before and the after subdivisions that were proposed, but he was asking the city to pay for 2/3 of the cost of the road right-of-way and the right-of-way. That was about $1 million ask. The staff recommended that we would only pay 1/3 and not pay for right-of-way because he would normally dedicate that had it been on the right-of-way. He has agreed to this, and we are recommending the total amount that be awarded for the project to preserve this road and to build it is $603,150.20. And again, this one will be in 2 phases because they're going to be ramping up with the development this year and next year. So we have a $300,000 proposed for this year.
It's still a third, right, of the...
Yes, 1/3 of the cost.
Questions on this one?
The importance is that it'll have a way of getting traffic from 10th Street to 23rd Street, another avenue instead of just Military Highway. So it's a public street.
Yeah, we have, we really do have mobility issues in South McAllen, and we've been looking at a east-west corridor for some time, and so this really brings us an opportunity through a developer to do that, to begin to do that, and that's something that we recommend strongly.
Yeah, if we had to build that street and to get that thoroughfare, it'd be much, much more expensive.
And also the nearshoring one is a little further over. That's going to be another piece of Adela, so then we're just going to be missing that center piece, which we'll start working on developing in the coming years.
All right. Any other questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve all 4 projects.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. We really appreciate the time. I know it's really short, but these projects are about to get started, and we need the funding in place, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Especially Elva, who had to cancel.
About that.